Koichi went from being a total loser with a lame quirk to a pro hero with one of the strongest quirks in the world. For most of his life, Koichi misunderstood his quirk Slide and Glide. His mother's quirk, Fly Swatter, lets her slap things from a distance. So Koichi ended up with a more complicated version of her simple gravity repulsion. Since his mom was really strict, Koichi was on the receiving end of many slaps and scoldings. And this started early because unlike most people, Koichi was actually born with his quirk. As a baby, he was already floating before he could even stand upright. Doing so was totally natural to him, but his mom was worried about his safety. So whenever he used his quirk to float, she'd smack him. That ended up stunting his quirk development and subconsciously kept him on the ground. When he was a bit older, he tried to glide while standing, but ended up falling over every time. So going for more stable positions became a habit, and he mostly activated his quirk while using all 4 of his limbs. Still, Koichi was always drawn to heroics. Like most kids, he spent a lot of time pretending to be a hero. But he was also more into it than others, and never wanted to stop. Like Deku, All Might was his favorite hero, so he mostly imitated him. And even as a regular kid, Koichi would throw himself into the middle of random fights and totally ignore the danger if it meant helping someone. But his mom's stance on heroes was like a tamer version of how Shigaraki's dad felt about them, that they let themselves be used by the public while their personal lives fall apart. Even so, Koichi insisted on becoming a hero. So in middle school, he applied for the hero course of a high school in Tokyo. But he ended up running late for his entrance exam. Since he was new to the area, Koichi wound up getting lost. To make matters worse, a kid was drowning in the river nearby. Although he didn't have any time to spare, Koichi leapt in to save the day. After saving the kid, he gave them his hoodie, and immediately rushed off to take his exam. The kid, who Koichi assumed was a little boy, was actually Popstep. But while he became Popstep's hero from then on, he still missed the entrance exam. So his hopes of becoming a pro hero began to fade away. In their society, you can't become a hero without going to a special school. So from then on, everyone his age seemed to accept the reality and totally gave up on trying to become heroes. To fit in, Koichi stopped wearing his All Might hoodies in public. He did his best to prepare a stable life for himself and put his childish delusions behind him. He hit the books and decided to study something that would make better use of his passion, which is why he went to college for a degree in hero sociology. But old habits die hard. So when he moved to Naruhata, Koichi still roamed the streets as nice guy, and did his best to help people in his neighborhood. Thanks to that, even before they were properly acquainted, Knuckle Duster was someone that Koichi saved. After losing his quirk to All for One, Knuckle Duster's life was a wreck. He had a drinking problem, lost faith in the system, and pushed away his old friends. Before becoming the vigilante Koichi knew him to be, Knuckle Duster was a drunk thug who beat people up and checked their tongues for signs of trigger use. Koichi got in the middle of one of those situations and ended up taking a beating. But even while his own nose was bleeding, he offered the former hero a tissue to take care of his. That simple moment turned Koichi into Knuckle Duster's hero, which is why the old man was so insistent on working with him. Aside from hitting the streets together, Koichi and Knuckle Duster also did some boxing training. But since Koichi didn't believe he was well suited for hand-to-hand combat, it felt a bit pointless to him. However, this ended up being major for him